gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
I'm confused. I can't really see anything that would suggest that would happen. Maybe it's something on Twitch side, but it's also unlikely. I don't know.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Okay, I mean that's a bit more simple one. If you compare the tattoo to other information with that's the written, then it should be clear. What is this? Okay. Yeah. We are recovering.
That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
At least this is a name and I can get behind.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-stars.
And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a last trial?
No, it means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
Being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, That other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
Yeah. And stream elements went back up. Yeah, there's nothing. GPU didn't change anything. My internet is fine. Yeah. I don't see anything, or I cannot know what exactly it is.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be two suspects, Makoto and Kyoko.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspect now are me and Kyoko. Damn it! I can't let this stand. Someone, you have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
Damn it. Huh? Yes, I remember correctly.
Must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Alright. Kyoko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot, but, you know. Okay, go get a pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock, but I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. It looks like the game has begun. I can't provide an alibi for that period, but I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. I exactly know what. The sprinklers!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
1 o'clock.
9 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an
3
alibi
o'clock.
for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Shoot!
We've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi.
I need to copy all of those.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Shoot!
I'm completely clueless now.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Okay, I think I got it.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would... We've established a time frame.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
No, that's wrong!
It definitely could have been better.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean by denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
The do is hit Toko with certain evidence that should do it. Moment of truth.
I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
That took too long.
I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? How can you say it?
This should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
To say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Certain something. Certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been a tarp? Which doesn't give me a safe minute.
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about it right now. The top. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the top must have touched the body, right? The body.
Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Knife, crime scene, body before explosion, fragment near the dead body, where the body was found.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
You're right, it was... Okay, yeah, okay. Good that I checked that.
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
Body before... body before... Knife hit my first... Oh, blasted. Stop bleeding, but the blood... yeah.
It's because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Need to listen closely.
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was
Okay.
toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Okay.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
After the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
In the the chicken. It's chicken blood.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tar, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off.
If that's actually
7:30.
it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
That's it! The famous line!
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
The suspicion falls back to me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toka keep it, that's for sure. We don't know if we don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up to now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer! Make your argument.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I used the knife to kill Mukuro. No, there's no way.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
The body was found fragment near the dead body. Exploded body analysis. The body before explosion. Disguised dead body.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
The murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspect covered the body with a tarp to prevent it from getting wet. Later, when they removed the tarp, the suspect placed the white jacket on the body. With this jacket had previously been treated with blood to make it look and has been like a corpse has been buried. A knife had been thrusted in the abdomen with the blood around the wound.
So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
What is when the body was found? Ah, okay, it's the time.
The knife lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Exploded? No, not. Yeah, that's totally not it.
It really is, isn't it? I was
Frag-
afraid of that.
Fragments near the dead body. No.
That seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
If you cover the element and remove the top, the suspect place which was previously cheated with blood to make it. Again, pretty much a 50-50.
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay.
The knife we found.
I have my answer.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Yes!
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in this film, so no, there's no way that's possible. For the blast, the victim had been stabbed.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
You were talking a lot of crap for someone who gets killed not just once but twice for demo purposes. Yeah, that is funny though.
Oh yeah, sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
Spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Which one was it? Yeah, this one.
After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
But how would she know?
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. we still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Make your argument. Explore the body analysis. This could it be? Let's see. Was definitely something about things beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on and had to be extinguished because of this. The upper body was major. No. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days Monokuma fire. Yeah. Indeed, the debate.
Fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I can only think of one thing that could have killed her.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her.
Body before the explosion. Did absolutely nothing. What was the other one?
Well, yeah. She was
Body before. Okay. Body before the explosion.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Shall we
continue the debate?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well,
Yeah, she was already.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only.
oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Ah, is it?
Then,
It's not the. But it's not what Makoto is thinking about. Got two ways I could go with it. Either going with the attacking Byakuya with the hit on the head. From early, or after that with the Monokuma fight. It's also been struck at head now, but I think as a matter of fact, the body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days ago. That's several days ago, saying that they were part of the hit with Meta is wrong, but Code is also talking about the how she died. I'm not sure which direction to go. Okay.
The victim's
fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife. And then there's only.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it.
There was evidence.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire.
Damn it. And according to the Monokuma fight, it was several days ago.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
she was already.
And it wasn't because of the knife. And then there's only one.
Oh yeah. According to that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire.
Wait a moment. Yeah. Apparently there were some connection issues from a Twitch server, since there were no signs of any lag on my end, so yeah. I mean, technically speaking, you could have like redeemed it like you missed one whole redeem where you could have redeemed first again. Oh yeah, congratulations, Code, on being first! I'm with it.
Shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Okay.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Alright, this is getting a bit too far.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Yeah, this is getting a bit too far.
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon. There are 400 dojo logs. There appear to be 10 in total. Along with the arrows, there was also a wetted up hull of duct tape along. The duct tape had traces of blood on it. It's assumed that this is related to the case. Nobody can imagine how. Which one though? The tape?
I got it!
Yes!
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something, and that's what killed her.
Oh no shit, Sherlock.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Deductive. Main argument. Bloody duct tape. Good block here. Careful, Monokuma, bloody.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
That is true.
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Okay.
The titanium, it was was in the dojo. I have
No doubt that was the
Are
murder.
you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, because it said the weapon must have been about. It seems like an arrow would just be too thick.
Ja, oh ja. Endlich so eine Illusion. Wort für Wiener.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together,
Imagine getting
become strong.
blushing to death with a single. Yeah. I would write that on my tombstone. Not gonna lie. A blunt shot with a single arrow. Thanks, Yasura. It would be harsh.
You even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Have evidence? Evidence Kyoko went to the dojo. Woodblock key found in Kyoko's room.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? And does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Kyoko should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Okay, we're getting to that point! Anyway, the body was found Byakuya's account.
Those were...
Byakuya's account. Byakuya stated that there was no cops in the car, just after men. He also said, "Oh, doing business."
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
You guys shouldn't know that Kyoko didn't do it. Why him?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Not when the body was found. What?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just...
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than any...
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something from...
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my... and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke. What do you...
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than any...
Byakuya!
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Okay, yeah.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself.
So it was Byakuya!
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this girl would stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. Mastermind's trap? The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko. But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? Should I? The Mastermind's trap. The victim was Smugre and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger. But if that risk means solving the mystery with no choice, am I wrong? What do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Pursue the lie, let it go, run away. Yeah, let's just run away. There we go, the turning point! This is where you go from one ending to the other. I wanna check. It's achievement. It's just a secret technique, running away! Okay, there's no achievement. There's no achievement with the other ending. But I do have to say, I would need. I would have to basically do the whole trial again. Nah, you wouldn't. At least there's no time limit to think about it. If you get the other ending, it was right back to this moment. Okay. That's why we have someone like Cody here with the knowledge. Right then! Pursue the lie.
Hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's definitely lying. That it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Make your argument. Kyoko-saka, Byakuya-saka, Monokuma-saka.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that.
I want to check. Kyoko used Monokuma's secret tool. Yeah.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only
Explanation.
It misses Byakuya!
I didn't have
because I'd given it to Byakuya.
There's no doubt about
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any locker in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up! I'm sorry to say, but your time is up. All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Oh my god! Good job! You got it right! Brilliantly right! We got it right? Does it mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
I've prepared an extra special punishment this time. Is everyone ready? Okay then.
Everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Game over. Kyoko has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. After school lesson. Here we have the biology lesson. I do have to say one thing. From all the punishments, this is like the best one you could have gotten from all punishments. So that's like the from all deaths, this is the W win of all the L's. That's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusawa came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or... I mean, there's a lot of tension, but at least the death itself is swift. Yes! And that's the point! It's all about the tension card. Regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. It was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for our lives of all the others. Yes, those were good. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. It was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh?
Why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Claim? Oh, that's right, I have to expose Kyoko's lie or not. She's not wrong. I have to think about this very carefully. What do I do? Let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
Also, just remember that you actually might need the alternate for full completion after all. I think there's an achievement for unlocking all gallery items, which would include the art from that end. But the thing is, I know for a fact I already did the alternate ending. I just never finished the last trial. I know that for a fact because I just wanted the class trial to finally end because I had enough of the class try. It was desperate because of the class try to finally end.
You! What are you trying to...
Short detail anyway, yeah.
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up! Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Voting time?
Wow, spinny. A B A B B A A A A A A. Was alright.
Now, who will be chosen as the Placken? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
What? How could that be? How can I also be guilty? That doesn't add up. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man. Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it. Good job, everyone. Good job. Yeah, you got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. Just don't try. It doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class tried, and I'm gonna end it the same way. It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. But wait, why do I? Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
And everyone, that was the end of Danganronpa 1. As aside, everything ends now. I hope everyone has enjoyed this strategy, this tragedy of a game. Main character time, game closes the end. Yes, indeed. After school lesson. Hope radiance within your soul. You call for help. It doesn't end yet, and we fall. Gravity was only half invented at this point. Aha! What's going on? What's that? Oh yeah, it had to be. Alter Ego? Alter Ego? Is this some stupid virus from the stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell! I don't believe this! It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning. What was that? What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you have already won? I barely felt the thing. It was a pinch, an inch. Stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in the garbage-strewn pit. In a way, that's an even better special punishment. Yeah, running in garbage disposal is worse than having a bit of tension and then getting a swift death. But to be honest, every other punishment would have been worse than the one Makoto or Kyoko would have gotten. I'm gonna bring despair to the rest of you, bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on? It's okay. We are not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words,
No, it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
so
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. Important question, would Monokuma actually be a decent instructor for sex education? Probably not. I put my money on absolutely no. I think pretty much everyone else in the universe would be a better educator on that topic. A massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Big Academy brings in top students from every field imaginable. Government-funded a school of privilege. They said that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you've already been attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you are scouted by the school itself. But to his credit, he is the only character in Danganronpa we've ever seen do. That is true. That is true. Because it probably never gets into an actual topic. But I'm not sure. I only know Danganronpa 1. And the Danganronpa 3 anime. What's me? What? Where am I? Walk overhead, resting on the top of the hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zoink off the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally, I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Oh, was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation I find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen! Not after what my good friend went through to save me. He remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friends. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of there. It's a rocket! There's a rocket and a tank. I'd better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. I mean, the tank is definitely interesting to see, but the rocket, we know where the rocket comes from the first ever execution we ever got to experience. Is this an airplane? But it's something like that wind up in the school's garbage bin. Is this a desk? It's probably the one that fell down here with me. I wonder what the executions were with the tank and the plane. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon. Decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I search for some water. How can I be sure which liquid I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But it's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I never give up. I never let down. I never hurt anyone. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My head was deep and uninterrupted. It was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left. After not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
This place smells awful. We got an instant noodle carve, Kyoko. Kyoko? You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage on your hair. She gave her head a quick sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me, Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Phew, it really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not! After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, it's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why did you come to rescue me? To pay a debt? No, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew? But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that! You didn't abandon me! No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive? I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind at the Hope Streak Academy for one very important reason. So, you have some reason for coming to Hope Streak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did. Once. Once? Until recently, I had forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I had a memory of what my purpose was. No memory, that's impossible! Amnesia? Then is it really true? You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? First thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted and when I woke up I was trapped here. I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect. Yes, there was a nice hat.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. I had forgotten. I couldn't remember why I had come to the school. And I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because... I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. Based on my memory. But... why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because my purpose and my ability, somehow, they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you? And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself to sort out. But if you say it's true, then why didn't you ask the rest of us for help? The rest of us to help you. If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What? Well, I don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were You are least likely to be the mastermind. That was just a situation, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary cat like me could have been the mastermind. I understand. I should...
Understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen? Are you okay? Yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right? Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all the investigation. So how did it turn out? Were you able to remember anything? I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective? The reason I came to Hopespeak Academy, there was someone I had to find here at the school. You had to find someone? Who? Well, it was the headmaster of Hopespeak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words,
Was separated from him as a child. So it turns out he became the headmaster of Hopespeak. Kyoko's dad is Hopespeak's headmaster? Then that explains. You know, the ego told us how he thought the mastermind was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster. No matter the cost. Yoko, what's going on? And Mary hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense. But listen, Makata, I want to make this perfectly clear. There's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I did see when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there? The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right? It was my assumption, yes. To confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I did find. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Is this some kind of map? It's a layout of the entirety of Hopespeak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant to facilitate use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So I went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there. But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like, that part of school? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized. Whatever's going on at this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean? I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important and really ominous.
However,
Of course, once I got to the... Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. Has to do with Mukuri Kusawa, doesn't it? Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right. That just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her? What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuri Kusawa was to get me killed. Get you killed? I stole that key and disappeared. In the retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me. That was the point of the class trial. Oh, it was? Mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulation? Exactly. Within minimal restriction, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
in other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules. And with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind himself is somehow bound to the school regulations. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuri Kusawa. What's that? There was a point where Mukura may not have become the victim. Could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim? You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this. Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away as I followed it. I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
It wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And the murder was disguised and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind. In an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mumukura is also the mastermind? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. Monokuma is her father. Now, I am your father! That's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right? You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just a Mukura. They needed a class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh? Just a little more. Just a little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair. and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not? If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. We're talking about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they are the ultimate despair. That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they are, make no mistake, they are the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. That is our real enemy. 100-mile dash, pain of a junk food junkie. The end. Dream Island Rocket Present. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy was finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Do you still have that one thing? Munokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room? Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. You can open any door in the school, right? And we should be able to use it on the door, right? Yeah.
Indeed. That's...
Kyoko. We can use a key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid into the keyhole. And then... Yes! It opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally, we were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death, deadly life. With Chapter 6. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. And is your family famous? Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like a family tradition, right? So, because we take pride in it,
Indeed.
right? A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things. And to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we have made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. Conscious effort?
True.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed. And we do what we must do to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Right. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing that something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. The reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
what?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What?
I...
No matter what it takes, I have to find him to tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future,
However,
but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. Oh, I could have done the same thing! I could have gotten the Mick myself, damn it! She went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. Ooh, shots fired. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd have gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. And that's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing. One thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we are no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt that he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that? Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. Blood is really enough to cause someone family. Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence, and after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top! Looks like this is it! On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We are back! Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? It's fairly certain that that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much problem. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... looks like we're back! And I think with that dialogue, it's actually a good time to save! And we're keeping with that, with the music on. So, I want to remind everyone again, when it comes to the Deltarune chapter 3 and 4 and the end of the Snowgrave route, there's gonna be a Discord event, and after that, we are, and for future streams, there's going to be a lot of streams coming up where I'll be with Cordell, who's been in the chat, with a bunch of Terraria. Well, I might, but only might. I'm not that sure, but I will probably stream all the with Terraria. Maybe even stream beforehand a few hours and continue with Danganronpa. Because I want to finish it. I want to finish it at with next week. So yeah, that's gonna be probably one thing. And then having some Terraria after that. So yeah, my goal is to finish Danganronpa next week, and then start off with the 100 line Last Defense Academy. And we'll start off with a bit of a longer stream, probably. I want to like have like Thursday or Friday-ish. Like we go 12 hours in the 100 line Last Defense Academy and get a good step in with it. And that is to someone we're gonna rate to. I will give everyone a glimpse on the 100 line Last Defense Academy with Collier. The one that I'm gonna play Terraria for pretty much a week. So as always, red message is the usual neon raid. If you wish, you can redeem. You can use your channel boys to redeem an email of mine to go with your red message. But if you don't want to, you're free to use any amounts you like. But yeah, I will give you a glimpse of the 100 line Last Defense Academy. I know how far I am, like kind of, since I've played the demo before. So yeah, I've played the demo before. If I get to the point where I know, so okay, now I haven't been there, then I will probably leave his stream. But for the time being before that, I will be in there. So yeah, most of it isn't going to be a spoiler, since you can get the you can transfer the data on. So now, I hope to see everyone again later on with some Terraria, maybe, or some Danganronpa. And take care, everyone. Until next time. Bye bye.